Good evening, Greg here, burning both ends. We're burning on the back end of May 9th, 2018. It's 11:44 p.m. Pacific. It's been a very powerful day and great evening with my girls. My wife was off for the evening, so I had the girls, and we went to the park after dinner, and my 4-year-old did the monkey bars for the first time ever. Huge milestone, so big shout out to her. My 7-year-old is a monkey bar expert. Now, one of the funny things is that she's got mad blisters on her hands from doing the monkey bars so much, and they bleed and they pop and they're gross, but she loves monkey bars so much that she just keeps doing it. And so I just think that's really awesome. That persistence is very fascinating. Other really cool things today is that we had a customer discovery interview for the iCore program. Even though the iCore hasn't officially kicked off, we're just kind of getting ahead. And so we spoke to an expert in the field. And one of the coolest parts of the interview, and don't forget, part of this interview is we don't reveal the technology, and we're looking for very authentic responses on what the market is looking for, like what thresholds we need to attain to really game change the industry, or at least make a dent in it. And one of the best questions that I've learned from this iCore program, because I've taken the mini course twice now, is you're getting through your questions, you're getting toward the end of the interview, you think, and you're coming up empty, and then you ask this one. This is a great one. Sir, so what didn't we talk about that you think is important, or something like that? And sometimes just that opens a floodgate, and it did in this situation. So we were talking for about 20 minutes, and that question opened up another 15 minutes of responses. And this gentleman's first response was, well, this is an obvious one. And of course, that was a huge piece of the puzzle. He also had another comment where this would be the holy grail. And of course, that was huge. So it was very cool to use these very simple techniques that we learned in iCore to just get more information, to learn more about the industry, dig deeper. That's the whole point. And get really authentic responses, not biased responses. So that was very cool. And then I had another great conversation today with the CEO of a company called Graph Audio. So this is a company that is trying to use graphene in very small speakers and microphones. Very cool. Graphene is this magical material that has been, was developed maybe a decade ago or so, and we as an industry are looking for a commercial application for it. And so this might be a really cool commercial application, these micro speakers and microphones, or micro squared phones, if you're real geeky like I am. So that was very cool learning about this company. But let's get on to the topic, even though those things kind of relate to the topic. So the topic tonight is I choose to surround myself with the right people, with people that support me, that support just positivity and big thinking and exciting ideas, because the people I spend time with affect the way I think, and the way I think affects the actions I take. This is very rudimentary but very important. Zig Ziglar put it this way. He said, your input determines your outlook determines your output, and your output determines your future. So think about the people that I hang out with, and they help with the input. And so the people I spend time with are a big piece of the input, and so on and so forth. And so let's get into some details here. So we've all heard the saying, misery loves company, and so we need to be careful about that complaining circle. And we've all been there, and it happens at work around the water cooler or something, where you're talking and one guy starts to complain about something, and then someone else tries to outdo them with their complaints, and then some third person, and it's just a non-stop complaining fest, and it just brings the mood and just the energy way down, and it's just and then now you're going to walk away from this little 5 or 10 minute conversation and go back and do some great work. It just doesn't make sense. I mentioned that I'm part of this men's team. We meet once a week to talk about our struggles and support each other. Now, that's not a complaining fest. That's a very powerful circle where we get into solution and we support each other. And we have this concept called the suck hole. And the suck hole is this dangerous place where it's kind of like that complaining circle. It's this place that you kind of fall down into, and it sucks you in, and it's just full of negativity and just complaints and just bad juju, and people that are close to the suck hole can pull others into it, and it's just a slippery slope. And oh, I'm not sure what that was. There's a little noise over there. So anyway, this complaining fest, this suck hole, I know I need to be careful of these things because it's easy to get drawn into it. And when you think about reality, only very few people really care about your problems or about my problems, right? The people that really have to listen to them, like my wife, my parents, my brother, people like that. But when you really think about it, the market does not care about my problems. And I got that one from Gary Vaynerchuk. Just once again, huge shout out to Gary. I love his content. I love your content, Gary. And I love this piece that he has, and I'll link it down below. It's also in the outline. But just this whole piece about nobody cares about your problems, and I love it, and it's so true. And so there's a little short video there that you can watch where he really rips into some guy about it, and it's just great because it's just so true. Because only very few people really do care. And now there's also this component of the types of, right? So we're talking about the types of people that I hang out with, and one fact is, the reaction I get from somebody is determined mostly on that person's mental model and their past programming, and the things I say and what I say and how it triggers things from their past, and then that's going to produce a reaction to me. And so for example, I can tell the same exact idea in the same exact way to 5 different people, and I will get 5 unique reactions, and it's all based on this mental model. And so the mental model is, as I grew up, I learned these things subconsciously and consciously, and that creates this mental model about when I look at things, how I react, so on and so forth, positive, negative, indifferent. Now, don't get me wrong. It's important to get good, honest feedback from solid people on ideas. I mean, we don't want to think that just, you always want to have positive people and every idea is a good idea, because that certainly is not true. So the key is to find the right people that are going to give you honest feedback, but also people that are going to be supportive and positive about things. So no BS on this kind of thing, but it's more the negativity and the complaining that I'm talking about. And then on the other side of it, there's my reaction. So I say the idea, the person reacts to it, and then how do I hold that reaction? Do I react to it, or how do I react to it? Very important. So, and this is a piece that I need to work on my mental model and my past programming, and make sure that I'm, executing self-awareness, and how am I reacting to this thing. It's just very important, and I just want to make sure I hold a supportive context around that. And so, but at the end of the day, it is up to me to seek out the folks that I'm going to be that I want to hang out with, that I want to talk business with, that I want to do these things with, and I look for folks that inspire me. It's actually very simple. I look around my environment and find folks like, okay, who's 10 years ahead of me, and who is where I want to be in 10 years. Things like that. Who's doing the stuff that I want to be doing. And I seek them out, and I find them, and I figure out ways to meet them, and then I figure out ways to follow up and get to know them as best as possible. Now, some don't have time for it. Some are just not the helping type. That's going to happen. But my experience is most people will want to lend a hand in some way, and some more than others, and just patience and persistence. There it is again, showing up. And there's a specific example of that I can bring up right now, and this is like part of that last conversation that last post I had about talking out loud and attracting people to help. And so part of that process, right? So I had met a very interesting gentleman at a pitch contest. We were both judges. So I had lunch with him. He's the one that recommended I do the I-Corps program, with this other team here that we're doing right now. So I'm very excited about that. And then also in meeting that other pitch competition judge, the fact that he knew that I was into tech transfer and commercialization and startups and things like that, he forwarded me a contact that he had at the UC Berkeley launch, which is a student-run accelerator, and they were having a pitch contest of their own. And so I was invited to that, and I'm like, this is great, networking with some students, with some startups. There were going to be VCs there, investors, all kinds of folks. And through the app that you register through, I messaged somebody and set up a meeting. And this was an angel investor, and this is a person that's also involved in several accelerators around the Bay Area. And we got to talking. We set up a coffee. I always love a coffee. Oh, I love coffee. Always love a coffee. So we had coffee together, and just telling my story like I always do, and seeing where his ears perked up. And I was talking about tech transfer and commercialization, and his ears perked up, and he had a lot of really good ideas. And he actually said, I meet with a group, and we've been talking about getting into tech transfer, and we'd love to have someone to work with that might be able to help us. And he said, well, why don't you go to work and see if you can find funding to pay for some of your time to do some of this work with us, and blah, 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 blah. And just back to that last post, I just said, no problem. I'll totally do that. I've already done that. There is no funding, but it's no problem, because I'm going to bootstrap it, because I know I want to hang out with these people and spend some time with them and see what they're up to and see how they think and see what opportunities there are to work with them, to grow my network, learn some things about business. These are seasoned businessmen and women, and I just know it's so important for me to hang out with them that the funding thing is it's not even an issue. And so I'm going to bootstrap it, and I love this term bootstrap. I'm sure that you've heard it before, and I looked up the definition just so I can get it clear. It's to get oneself or something into or out of a situation using existing resources. And so when we bootstrap a business or we bootstrap an opportunity, I'm just going to use whatever I have at my disposal to make it work. And what this looks like for this specific thing is probably just putting in a lot of extra time to work with these people, because it's so important, because I choose to surround myself with the right people, and these are the kind of people I want to be working with. It's very important. And then conversely, there are people in my life that I got to spend time with that I have no choice. Family members, people that might bring negativity, but that's okay, because now I go back to the self-awareness piece, and it's, it's a challenge. It's okay, how can I support this person and their negativity, but still keep my positivity going? And self-awareness, there it is again, keep showing up. We see the same themes showing up over and over again: self-awareness, these mental models, past programming, right? This is all about relationships, right? The people that I surround myself with, patience and persistence, right? There it is again. So these are things, and just back to the top of the whole thing. Like, why am I talking? Why are you listening to me? And I'm doing my best to relate things that are working for me in my life that are bringing me success. I'm on a journey. I'm getting addicted to this journey. I'm really I'm finding that I'm being empowered by these posts. I'm getting this information out of me, and it's wonderful. It's I'm already inspiring some people, gotten some comments, gotten some feedback from some of my friends that I've showed this channel to, and I'm already getting some really great feedback and some inspiration. Not inspiration. I am inspiring others, and it feels amazing, and so I really appreciate it. I'm so thrilled that that's happening already, and I'm just excited to keep doing this. So this is just fantastic. And please add comments down below, subscribe, hit the bell. This all helps me out. Ask questions. I'd love to help in any way I possibly could. So ask questions. How's your journey going? What do you need? Whatever I can do, I would love to do. If you like the beats you hear in the background, that's my alter ego G Money. I've been drumming for a while, so I write beats. That's a good way to keep the creative juice flowing. So if you dig those, there's a link down below. You can check them out. There are also some motivational videos down below. Some of the folks I've been listening to that I really enjoy. Once again, shout out to Gary V. Really appreciate all that you're doing and all the content you put out. Really appreciated that there was a piece today about how you really couldn't care less if someone tells you that they're not going to watch any more of your videos or unsubscribe from you. I found a lot of entertainment in that one, so thanks for that. Anyway, y'all be good, have a great night, and we will see you in the morning.